Welcome back, podcast listeners. This is the We Know Ball podcast. Today we are teaming up with Underdog Fantasy to bring you guys an amazing deal. If you go ahead and sign up using their mobile app or their website and you use code WKB when you sign up, they will give you a deposit match of up to $100. That is an amazing deal. So take advantage of it while you can. Sign up, use code WKB, and get on to some daily fantasy. Welcome back, everybody, to the newest episode of the We Know Ball podcast. We have a special guest on today, Lily from Twitter, Dario fan. Before we introduce yourself, though, I just want to announce that we finished the giveaway for the free jersey. We announced the winner on Twitter, so if you want to go follow us at WKB podcast _, maybe you won if you didn't know. So make sure you go check, give us a follow. Lily, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us how you became a Dario fan / Suns fan / Philly fan.
So this is kind of a long story, but hi, I'm Lily Lisco 2000. You can kind of call me either one. I got into basketball really like 2017 2018. I'm still a pretty big Sixers fan, but for some reason my brain decided to just latch on to Dario and like make him my favorite player for literally no reason. I have OCD and I have hyperfixations that come with that. So basically my brain just picks one of my interests and just like full force gets really into it for like years at a time. So I don't really get to pick which one it chooses, and it chose Dario. So I kind of just started like posting on Twitter and stuff about him because I like making content and writing and stuff like that. And I've had a couple Twitter accounts that were Stan accounts. I did Dario Sharkic a couple of years ago, and then Dario Party, and now I'm just me. I'm just Lucifer 2000. It's been kind of a wild journey, but I'm here and I'm having a great time.
Yeah, one question I actually had for you before we get into the game is, how is that journalism stuff going? Because I know you write for a pretty big article company, right?
Yeah, well, I write for my school newspaper, which is the Eagle. I go to American University and I do everything I do for the Eagle. I also do a podcast called Section 202, and I write for some other stuff too. I have like a little Substack project that I started up. I've written for a few different blogs, but mostly I do the Eagle and like personal stuff, sports? Really.
Is it just sports, or do you do
it's like 99% sports. I did run a music blog back in high school, and I still really love music journalism, but I don't really have the time to do it all that much. So it's mostly sports.
It's nice. I just wanted to know that about you because I saw that in your bio and I thought that was really cool.
Thanks.
But we'll start talking about the game. The Suns beat the Philadelphia 76ers by 10 points, 114-104. I think there's a lot of talking points about this game today, at least.
Yeah, talking point one. I don't think it's actually possible for the Suns to lose anymore.
Definitely, they keep making my case stronger. I don't see anyone beating them in 7 games, like at all. Like they'll have to have a really bad stretch of 7 games to lose.
Dude, and something that I would like kind of realized today is we have this like stretch of 5 games going on right now, right? Where we just played the Timberwolves and the Nuggets and just now the Sixers. Then we have, I guess Warriors and Grizzlies don't really count because Curry and is Ja gonna play?
I don't know if he'll be back by then. I don't know. I know he's been out the last few games.
Because that's literally on Friday. So
yeah, it's 2 weeks he's out. So
but to be fair, they've been playing better without Ja. Like they beat the Bucks by 30 and they had Giannis and Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. So
yeah, definitely not one to like not take seriously. You gotta watch out for that one. But to get back to my point, is the Suns have been shorthanded in all of the games. Chris Paul missed. We were missing Chris Paul and Cam Johnson for the Timberwolves game. Still beat them by we won by 10, right? I think
it's been 6 weeks since both of them been out. So
yeah, and then we beat the Nuggets without Cam Johnson, and now we just again beat the Sixers without Cam Johnson. The Suns, I don't know how many games have we actually had all of our key players playing together this season. Because I know the big three of Booker, Ayton, and Chris Paul has only played 30 games together.
Yeah, it's been 33 now or something like that. I don't know the exact number.
So it's just like, I feel like we still really haven't seen this team at full strength.
Yeah.
With everyone healthy, with Shamit hitting his shots, with Craig hitting his shots, with everything's working now at the perfect time.
Yep. Shamit's
And
someone who's been on fire recently. I'm confident now when he shoots. Like I don't cringe.
yeah, I called him Sham mid in the first half, and then he went on and made like every shot he took after that. So he shit on me for that.
Yeah, he
But
specifically listened to the podcast and heard you say it. And
no, I thought he was scrolling Twitter at halftime. He's like, Sham mid, god damn it, bro. And then he's like, he just went on. I mean, if it works, you know.
yeah.
No, but big performer in the first quarter. I kind of missed like the first half a little bit, but the biggest like talking point that I mean everyone knows already, Devin Booker dropped 22 points in the first half on like 8 of 11 from the field. Only reason we were in the game in the first quarter. We would have been nowhere.
Yeah.
Without him.
It just didn't seem like he could miss. Like there was a stretch of time, especially last year, where Devin Booker could not make an open three to save his life. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
And now it's like he's automatic now. I don't know what we've talked about it before. People working on shit in the off season. That's obviously something he's taken seriously because it's elevated his scoring to a whole new level. And he was already an amazing scorer before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Something I noticed in the game today was that when he wasn't in, we started to go down big, and we had no offensive rhythm at all. We literally couldn't do anything at all when he wasn't on the court. Even on defense, we started to get better and better as he got on the court. So
I agree.
Yeah. And other than Book, it was a fairly normal. I know Chris Paul, the Suns gave Chris Paul the stat line of the game. Chris Paul, how do we feel about him playing 36 minutes in this game?
I don't care. I don't know if we've talked about it before, but I saw a tweet. His injury was just a hand injury. It's not like it was a leg injury or something. So I don't think the extra minutes or his extra or usual minutes is going to hurt him. But I do think once we pulled away by like 8 to 10, like with like 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, there was no reason for him to keep playing. I think he got taken out with like 2 minutes to go or something like that. But there's like no reason at that point because we trust Campaign at this point. Let him get the minutes or Elfrid Payton. So, because it's not like Elfrid Payton can't play defense. He can.
No, he's actually a really good defender.
So, I don't think it's a problem, but I would hate to see something happen to where like a D Rose type situation where he just stays in when we're up 10 and ends up blowing his knee out or something. He's old. So you never know what's going to happen. You can't predict that.
Campaign actually had a pretty bad game today. From what I noticed, that he was taking some like really bad shots. He was missing some easy shots.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to guess, I don't know if you guys saw it or not yet, but if you had to guess his plus minus, what do you think it was?
I just saw it.
You just saw it?
My God.
What do you think it was, Brandon?
Was it like minus 15?
No.
Let's hold on. Well, Lily, do you want to take a guess?
I didn't really watch the game, but if we're saying it's bad, I want to go with like maybe like minus 11 or so.
It was minus 25.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
I did not.
Bro.
It didn't seem like it was that bad. It did not seem like that bad.
And in perfect like mirroring of that, Chris Paul was plus 25, which is interesting.
The only players in minus was Campaign and Torrey Craig. And Torrey Craig was a minus 5.
Yeah, I didn't think Torrey Craig was like awful today. I thought he was just fine. Like
yeah, he didn't really do much.
Yeah,
he shot 3 times.
Yeah,
but he's still going back to only taking threes, which scares me because it could be like just a trend up and down where he plays how he's supposed to some games, and other games he just wants to shoot threes.
I feel like we haven't seen the shot, like the chucking threes from him as much though. I feel like we haven't seen that from him in a while.
Yeah, not chucking, but like Torrey Craig should not only be shooting threes in a game.
I agree.
So
I
like,
guess that was kind of today.
yeah, I wouldn't call it shot chucking because it was only 3 shots, but like get to the basket. We know you can.
Yeah.
Like unless it's like he knows he can't, he's like trying to find a rhythm before the playoffs. I don't know. I don't know what he's trying to do.
I don't know. I mean, like I always say, I don't really complain about it as long as we're winning. And as long as he's not like noticeably bad, I'm like, whatever, you know.
Mhm. One
We're
thing,
not gonna need sorry, what's up?
no, you're good. I'll let you finish that and then I want to talk about something.
All right, we're not gonna need like necessarily every rotational guy to be firing on all cylinders every game, especially
Mhm.
like even in the playoffs, especially like really the only people that you need to be like positives are like your starters and your sixth man. So like that'd be our starting 5 and Cam Johnson, but like Torrey Craig, we don't need him every playoff game to be like ultra effective. That'd be great, but it's not going to happen, and you don't need it to happen as long as it's just games like this where he's not like an extreme like he had an amazing game, but it's also not like noticeably bad. It's
Yeah.
just he's just there. He's just doing his job basically.
I
Granted, he
mean,
didn't rebound tonight, so I don't know if that qualifies as doing the job. But
one thing I wanted to talk about just from the season in general, does it seem like we're shooting free throws a lot worse than we usually do? Or is that just me?
yes,
Because like I don't
it's
know
not
what
just
number,
you.
I don't know what the number differential is, but it just
Seems
seems
like we're shooting a lot less free throws in general, but we're also missing a lot more than we're supposed
yeah,
to.
because we were 11 for 17 today.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
Actually,
trying
no,
to find.
we missed a lot of technical free throws and flagrant free throws.
yeah, I know Shamit missed one today. I remember that.
So we're actually top 10 in free throw percentage this season
What is it
at
at?
80.1%.
I want to see what it was last year.
It's probably about the same. I know we set the NBA record in the bubble season, so that's probably. I mean, we're probably like still on the come down from that. Like we never missed a
Yeah.
free throw back then.
I think it just feels like it because Booker is also missing he's missing.
Yeah, he's
more
missing a
free-
lot more than he usually does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw this. I just looked it up. What do you guys think? Do you guys remember Shamit's free throw percentage was like a 32 at one point in the season?
It was
32
It was like 32 or 33, wasn't it? When we were talking on the pod?
3-point percentage or free throw percentage.
3-point percentage.
Oh, I think you
like
said free
3.
throw.
Oh, yeah. I thought
Yeah,
you
like-
said free throw.
No, that would be bad.
No, that's like Wiggins.
What do you think his 3-point percentage is now?
It's got to be. If you're asking, it's like 39.
It's 37.6, almost 38, but
Still take it.
in the last 10 games, it's at 46.
I think one of the like recent pods we did, I called out Shamit for like shooting 40% from 3 in like 5 straight games or something. I don't know if that held up, but I still would like to just give him some flowers because it kind of held up. Or it was 50%. He had one game where he just shot 0 of 1. It was against Denver.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, he shot 40% or higher in like 8 of the last 9 games.
That's pretty good. It's like it doesn't even have to be that consistent for me. Like if he has like where he's doing this and then maybe like a game or two he shoots like 30%, like goes like 1 for 4 or something like that, like then it's okay. But when he was on that streak of like 0 for 5s, then it's a problem. But you can definitely tell just especially his reactions after hitting threes. He's like 10 times more confident than he used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Something on the box score that I kind of noticed, and do you guys know what the rebounding numbers were for each team tonight?
I know Joel Embiid had like 15 or 14 or something like that. So
He had 15, yes.
I know Aiden had 12, I think.
The Sixers out rebounded the Suns by 5, so nothing too crazy. I guess, I mean, this is a really normal game. Booker was kind of low actually on his stats. He only had 2 rebounds and 2 assists today.
It seemed like he sat out a lot. Like after that first quarter, it felt like he didn't come back in until like 2 minutes in the second quarter. And I think that's why he did only score like 22 and a half, right?
I think it seems that way because when he came back in at his usual time, like 5 minutes, but he literally like took 1 shot in the second
Yeah, I
quarter.
didn't notice he was not shooting at all. He was just
Yeah.
passing.
Which I don't like that, because when you're that hot, just take over. It should never have been that close if he would have just taken over when he came back in. And I don't know if he's trying to like conserve percentage to like show like all the MVP haters and stuff. I don't know if like that's the case. I don't think that's something he'd do. But
conserve percentage, like
he doesn't
his
want to
field
take
goal
shots
percentage. No,
because
Devin Booker definitely does not care about his field goal percentage.
No, I don't think he would. But it's just weird how, because when he comes back in, Chris Paul's usually going out, because Chris Paul usually comes back for the start of the second quarter. I don't know. It's just so. I just didn't understand why he wouldn't.
I feel like he was trying to play make a little bit, but when it doesn't work out, he just starts shooting again.
Yeah. And it's hard when DeAndre Ayton's going up against Joel Embiid, because Joel Embiid had him on locks for most part of the day.
How would you guys think Ayton did today? Like, how would you guys like grade him today?
I checked his. I didn't look at his stats at the end of the game, but I checked his like stats midway through, and he was like 4 and 4, like 4 points, 4 rebounds. And I was like, oh, Embiid's eating him up tonight. But I didn't.
He kind of did. I'm not gonna lie. Embiid kind of did. Embiid kind of fucked him up tonight.
He did.
I did notice a lot of possessions though when it was like Jay Crowder guarding him or Mikal Bridges guarding him.
Yeah, there was a lot of possessions like that.
Ayton was guarding
a lot of double teams at him, which I don't really watch Philly games. Do you, Lily? Do you watch a lot?
I mean, it really depends. I really don't have that much of a way to watch games when I'm at school. But when I'm at home, I do watch a lot of Sixers games.
I'm assuming anytime he gets the ball, he's just getting doubled. They're just sending a double at him.
A lot of the time, yeah.
But that's just, I think that's where it came from a lot today. I think that's why Jay Crowder had so many fouls too, because he was getting called for like every foul when he went to go double team him.
Yeah.
But Ayton he had a better game than I thought. 14 points, 12 rebounds.
He was switched on to James Harden a lot, and he was actually playing really good defense against James Harden.
Yeah, James Harden couldn't buy a bucket.
That's really encouraging to see our center guarding one of the best offensive players like that.
Yeah, that's the big difference to me. And that's why I personally think that Ayton is a more like effective center than Rudy Gobert at like just playing basketball.
I could see that.
Because he's a better scorer. Yeah. It's not even close. And then Ayton's obviously not as good of a rim protector, but he makes up for that not only in the scoring, but in the fact that he can take guards on the perimeter. I've never seen Rudy Gobert not get crossed up by a guard on the perimeter. He can't do it.
Even Book playing on Harden was really good tonight. He was staying on Harden really good. Two things I just looked at the box score. James Harden only shot 2 for 11.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about I want to talk about that.
And then Matisse Thybulle only played 16 minutes.
That's shocking.
Like, why would they not? I don't know. I don't know if something happened or what, because Danny Green played 30 minutes tonight.
Doc Rivers has Pete Carroll syndrome, where he doesn't use his players effectively ever.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with that one.
Like, why is your best defender not out there when Devin Booker's scored 22 points? He ended with what, like 35 or something like that? Let's see. Yeah, 35. There's no reason Matisse shouldn't match minutes with him.
The thing with Matisse is, though, he's like one of the worst offensive players in the league.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
I feel like he's turned it up a lot this year.
I mean, still, I would, like, if I was the Suns, I wouldn't even guard him, like, if on the perimeter, because he's kind of like Andre Roberson from back in the day.
I'm curious.
That's a pretty good comparison.
It is.
So obviously he's a very good defender, but it's like it's 4 on 5 on offense. Obviously he's not like that bad, but it's like it feels like
he's shooting 32% from 3.
On how many attempts?
But
Though?
I was just gonna say it's probably, I can see 1 second. It's probably like 1 attempt a game, if that. This season, 2.5 threes a game. So
That's still,
he makes about 0.7 a game. But
he's not really. He's not really a 3-and-D. He's more just like defense. He's like Andre Roberson, literally.
So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
is that better than having Danny Green play 30 minutes on probably, I would say, easily not as good of a defender and only scoring 6
No,
points?
I think Doc Rivers panicked and wanted to outscore the Suns.
Yeah, he also had 4
yeah.
fouls in those 16 minutes, so he might have been like keeping him on the bench for that. But I would have put him in.
Yeah, but I mean, when that's like your best defender, like by far, other than like Embiid, I guess. But you know what I mean. And Devin Booker's having the game he's having, and I know Book put 22 on him in the first quarter. Whatever, he's still your best defender, and even if he's fouling, you have to keep him out there, like on the best player, especially at the end of the game, and tell him like, all right, if you're just gonna get the foul, like this is what I would tell Mikal Bridges too if he was in the same situation. If you're gonna get the foul either way, like the ref's gonna blow the whistle, make it a good foul, and then at least it's still like worth something.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Make
Doc
sure they don't get
Rivers,
an and one or something. Like,
yeah,
if
Doc
you're gonna
Rivers
foul,
just
don't
like was like, oh shit, and then gave up on him. I don't even know. That's not even like good for his like. How are you gonna bench the guy? How do you like? You have to show confidence in your players too. This guy's supposed to be your best defender, and you're benching him.
Especially, I mean, because the 22 in the first quarter that Booker had, most of them were on Tyrese Maxey because they were doing all these switches and stuff. So it's not like Matisse Thybulle was even doing bad on defense. He was chasing Booker around the whole time, but they were just doing a lot of switches. So I don't know why Doc Rivers did that.
I think Sixers fans don't know why Doc Rivers does a lot of things.
Yeah. No, I'd have to agree with that. I feel like Matisse Thybulle is like one of those players that is just so like streaky. He's not really very reliable whatsoever. Like I'm looking at his box scores from like the entire season, and most of the time literally like between 0 and 5 points. So it's like I don't really think he's that much of a big, he's obviously not a big offensive player at all. He's a very good defender, but I think if you're trying to outscore the other team, that's obviously a reason to take him out. Because like occasionally he'll have a game where he has like 10 to 12 points, which like, okay, like go you. But
I was kind of shocked by the Sixers starting lineup today. It was, at least as listed on the Arizona broadcast, it was Harden at the 1, Thybulle at the 2, and Maxey at the 3. I was like, what?
They must
Why?
have probably messed that
like
up.
That's gotta just be like a mix-up, right?
I'm looking here, and it's Harden and Maxey both the guards, Thybulle and Harris the forwards, and Embiid.
Yeah, that's
okay. I was gonna say,
That'd be very
weird. That's really weird, but okay.
Unless they had Thybulle as a guard to like because he was matching up with Booker, maybe that's why. I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, whatever. That's probably just a mix up by the Valley crew. Like, what else is new? I want to move on to my big topic of the day, and it's something that I haven't been able to talk about because I didn't really start like this agenda until after. I think it was after the Nuggets game, and I wasn't here for the Nuggets pod. So, but the topic is Mikal Bridges Defensive Player of the Year, like candidacy, I guess. His campaign, his case. And first, I want to bring up today specifically. Mikal Bridges today, not his most prolific scoring game. He only had 11 points on 5 of 11. He only made 1 3, but he shot 2. He had 5 rebounds. He had a steal. He had 2 blocks. The thing about Mikal Bridges, and I made a tweet about it. I know it kind of went like mini viral. It was like a tweet of Mikal Bridges and the fact that he's played the most minutes of any player in the league by far. Like he's ahead by like several hundred minutes on second place. It's not even close.
Really?
Yeah. I'm
Jeez.
gonna pull up the
Yeah, let me know who second is because I'm curious about that.
it's Miles Bridges.
Oh, okay. But yeah.
Where is it? How do I find total minutes played?
Should be on if you just go on NBA.com, I'm sure it'll have that stat.
I have no idea how to find it, so I'm just gonna keep talking. So Mikal Bridges has played the most minutes out of any player in the league. He's never fouled out of a game this season. He hasn't missed a game for any reason, first of all. He hasn't fouled out of a game. I think he's gotten 5 fouls like 2 times this season. And I don't know why the advanced stat people are not obsessed with Mikal Bridges. Because
Yeah,
he's like,
I have stats right here that are like advanced stats that I want to say.
yeah, he is like one of the most effective, efficient, like players you will ever like. He's like a robot. It's insane. He's literally like Kawhi, defensively anyway. It's insane to see.
He's a Kawhi who can play.
Because he's healthy.
Yeah,
Right.
he's actually healthy.
Before, and I'll let you get to your stats, Brandon. But I do want to point out he has gotten 4 fouls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times this season.
That's insane.
In like 74 games, playing the most minutes out of every player in the league.
Defending the hardest person on the best.
Defending the other team's best player most of the time. He's like the most he's like by definition the most effective defender in the NBA by that metric. So I don't understand why the advanced stat nerds haven't like latched on to him. It's insane to me. But first, I want to get, because Mikal Bridges is very significant to Sixers fans. And I know, Lily, you said you weren't really like fully like delved into the Sixers fandom quite yet around the time of that draft. But how do Sixers fans like feel about Mikal? And are they like bitter about that trade? Do you guys like just want success for him, or how is that like? What's the relationship there?
I mean, I think it depends. Like, I personally just want success for everybody. I've said this on my podcast multiple times. Like, I am here just to be nice and say nice things about everyone. I think Sixers fans in general, I think we're a pretty bitter fandom.
Definitely. No, yeah.
Like,
look at that. You see the
absolutely.
Eagles fans too? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm a Philly 444, grew up on Philly sports. Didn't really get into like the social media aspect of it all until a couple of years ago. But I think Sixers fans like Mikal Bridges. I think they want him to do well. I think they're just very angry with our front office. I mean, as they should be, because the Sixers front office really did absolutely suck between Sam Hinkie and Daryl Morey. Elton Brand and the Colangelos both were horrid. So I think they like Mikal. I think it's more of like a front office type thing.
That seems like
who did we give up for him again? Well, it was on that draft night. We traded our pick.
I think it was was it Zaire Smith? Hold on.
That was the Zaire Smith trade.
Yeah.
And then it was the other trade that sent Dario to the Suns for the Cam Johnson pick in 2019.
Oh God, yeah, that's gotta
Culver for Dario and Cam Johnson.
That's gotta hurt.
Yeah, that was two masterclass trades.
I have a take on that trade that I talk about all the time about the Dario one, because obviously I was like following Dario during that season with Minnesota. I genuinely think he tried to force a trade, because there's like at the level that he was playing, like really decent role players starting every once in a while, it makes no sense that they would trade him and a pick for a pick. Like I genuinely think he was trying to force a trade. He was getting into fights with everybody, just menace to society type behavior.
Well, it was meant to be.
But yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for him to come back on the Suns, because I think he'll actually have a role.
Yeah, me too.
how everyone else feels, but I think he'll fit in perfectly.
I mean, I think I'll have a role. I'm really just the only thing I'm worried about is when his contract is up, he's gonna be 29, and I mean he only has a few more years left really because he's a big man and usually they don't play that long into their careers. Like for like another like long contract. So I genuinely see it becoming a situation where he like floats around the league and then goes back to Europe, which is super upsetting. So I just kind of hope he has like some kind of redemption arc type thing. But also I'm a
Good
pessimist,
comeback
so,
story.
yeah.
Yeah, you definitely would love to see him succeed. I don't know, like Brandon said, I don't know about his future with the Suns, especially with Ayton's contract situation and how many centers are on the roster.
Yeah,
I don't know about Frank Kaminsky's future on the team. I don't know about Biyombo's future. I don't even know about currently
I feel so
every
bad.
5. We don't know the future of them on this team.
I feel
just-
so bad for
yeah.
Kaminsky because he was lighting it up before he got hurt. And I think if he would have kept that going, he would have had some type of role with us right now.
Yeah. I mean, my whole take on the Suns is that every time like the deadline rolls around, I'm like, why are you guys hoarding so many centers? Like there's genuinely 6 or so on the team right now. Like
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that need
what is
centers, too.
happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. So every
but-
like deadline and off season, I'm like, I expect them to trade one of them and they just don't.
I mean,
And
they
then pick up
did.
another one.
They did
Oh,
trade
wait.
one this season.
Oh.
They traded Jalen Smith.
Sorry, my bad. But I think they picked up another one like somewhere along the line. I'm like, what is this? Like,
Yeah,
what are we
it's a
trying to
little
do
bit
here?
absurd. But James Jones loves his continuity. But to kind of get back to Mikal Bridges, and Brandon, I'll let you read off some of your stats now. Yeah, like I said, I don't know why the advanced stat nerds haven't like clung on to this guy. Like, I don't even know. Like, but please read your stats off
So
because I would love to push this agenda.
the first sentence in this article is Mikal has proven that he can make some of the advanced stats guys salivate. So that just shows where this is going. But basically there's on Basketball Index, there's a like a stat called matchup difficulty, which it's an estimated degree of difficulty rating that each player, like who they guard. He ranks in the 99th percentile of the league.
Can you like
the top 1% of that?
Can you send that to me somehow so I can tweet
I'll send you the link of this.
Because I need like a screenshot of it, but I'm pushing this agenda today. It's only 6:45 for me. I have the rest of the day.
I'll send you that link. And I guess on Basketball Index they give grades off depending on like what they like how their stats are throughout the season. He grades out for a B for passing lane defense. He's an A- off ball chaser on defense. An A for ball handler screen defense. And he's in the 92nd percentile for defensive miles per 75 possessions.
The dude's literally a robot.
He's 10th in defensive win shares.
Can you explain win shares to me?
Yeah, it's basically like his defensive contribution, how that like the estimated number of wins because of his contribution on defense.
Gotcha.
So like say every time he guarded James Harden today, he missed 8 shots, that'd be 16 points or whatever, you know what I mean?
I got you.
Yeah, and then it kind of mentions his game against Steph Curry.
That's the big one. That's the one everyone kind of that's kind of what got him to become, I don't want to say a household name, but that's what when people started talking about him.
And then it also says that if you look at his numbers, like all the advanced stats, even just regular stats, box score stats, well, I guess not as much box score stats. I would say just advanced stats because he's on. When you look at the box score, he doesn't have a crazy amount of blocks, a crazy amount of steals, but it says when you look at his numbers, Mikal is as dominant as some of the big men in the league as a forward guarding the best player on the floor.
Yes, and this is why we're going to start a discussion about the criteria for Defensive Player of the Year because we're shaking up everything this year.
He is not it on like I don't know about FanDuel. I can check FanDuel, but on this, it's like it has like tracker for like best odds.
Yeah,
he is 4th right now.
Is Gobert and Draymond above him?
Draymond is plus 100, Rudy Gobert is plus 178, and Giannis is plus 725.
Draymond and Rudy are not getting it because they missed too
agree.
many games. And I really hope Giannis doesn't get it because I am sick of him getting awards.
One of the main things I noticed with Mikal Bridges is that just like how Ayton can stay with guards, Mikal Bridges can also stay with big men, which is like something that's like you don't see from a lot of like forwards and guards. Is that how he seals them all off? He doesn't even let them get the entry pass. And obviously, there's like some exceptions like Embiid or Jokic, but like most big men, he can stay with.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for saying, Brandon.
Yeah, but that's Embiid and Jokic. You're not I don't care who it
Yeah.
is. It's there. You're not stopping them.
But it's like they can't really body him because he's just like he's too long.
Yeah, and or Mikal Bridges has kind of proven my point that I had with some of my friends from back home, Robert, who we had on the last podcast. We had this debate last year during the finals, but I was talking about DeAndre Ayton going up against Jokic and right before he went up against Giannis, which kind of backfired on me a little bit. But Mikal Bridges is proving my point now. I always said that it is 100% possible to slow down a superstar.
Yeah.
And my argument was that I thought DeAndre Ayton could 100% slow down Jokic when we needed him to, which he kind of did in the playoffs. Not so much Giannis, so that kind of backfired on me. But Mikal Bridges, like Steph Curry, he shut him down completely that game.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? I would probably, I don't know his exact matchups for tonight because he was on everybody at some point. He was on Tobias Harris a lot.
I have a stat kind of regarding that. It's not like exact. This is James Harden has played 3 games against the Suns this season. In those games, he has scored 48 points, which is 16 points per game on 26.7% from the field, 26% from 3, and 13 turnovers, which is 4 a game, almost 4.5 a game.
Jesus.
And his primary defender in those 3 games was Mikal Bridges.
Yep.
Mikal Bridges had that. He had 7 steals against the Nets back in like February.
Oh yeah, that was
Harden
that game.
Still there.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Does that stat count tonight's game?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you were taking into account like tonight's game or if it was 3 previous.
I mean, RB posted this.
Oh, okay.
Tonight, so
Okay.
like after the game.
RB.
So
I trust RB.
Sure. Yeah.
Dude's a statistical genius.
But Mikal Bridges' effectiveness as a defender and as a player in general, I think should really be raising a lot more questions about what we consider like the best defender to be, because really, if you think about it, it's like it's a dilemma almost, because rim protection is probably the most important part of defense, right? Is that I mean, we can all agree with that, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's like a debate of, do you want someone who's the best of the best at the most important thing, or do you want someone who's like the best at everything except that, like, and then he's just like pretty good at the rim protection?
Mm-hmm.
Personally, at least for the Suns case, I think, or at least most teams, to be honest, I think you need a Mikal Bridges. You need to have a defensive anchor that can actually guard stars, not just like stand there in the paint.
I just found another crazy stat if you want to hear it real quick.
Go for it. I love stats.
So it's showing all of Mikal Bridges' defensive field goal percentage since he came in the league. 2018-2019 he was at a 47.9. Next year it dropped to 45.8, then 48.4, and this year it is at a 39.2.
Wait, what was the stat again? You kind of cut out for me.
Defensive field goal percentage. So like the amount of time he gets scored on, basically 39.2.
This season?
Really, really good.
Yeah, this season. That's insane. I want to see.
You see how that compares?
People don't notice, or people don't like think about really is that like you're not gonna be able to stop every star. That's just how it works, you know.
Yeah.
They like making it hard for somebody, making them earn it like every single possession is also a very good skill that Mikal has. Like makes everyone work twice as hard to score on them.
Yeah. Lily, are Sixers fans on the Mikal Bridges for depoy train, or are they kind of still fixated on Joel Embiid for that?
I really do not know. I genuinely don't think they care that much.
Yeah,
I
they
think
just
the
want
thing is
the
really Joel
MVP.
for MVP, which I 100% wholeheartedly support. I think he deserves it, but I think Defensive Player of the Year, if they had to pick somebody, would be Matisse Thybulle, except that he literally sucks right now. But we're gonna move on from that.
It's sad
Um,
because Matisse is like, I really
yeah,
like Matisse.
yeah,
He went to Washington. He's super likable. He did those vlogs back in the bubble or the
Yeah.
TikToks.
yeah. I like him. I just don't really understand how he's like employed, at the level that he is. He like occasionally has a good game, but usually it's just kind of like he goes out there and like flings himself around and then goes out, and it's like, what did you just
Probably
achieve there,
employed
buddy?
because of his
But
He'd be really good if he gets a jumper in the offseason, really works on his jumper.
yeah, I hope he fixes that situation.
Yeah, because really, other than playmaking, what's the difference between him and Ben Simmons?
Yeah, I mean,
Crickets.
I honestly, well, Ben Simmons is obviously like better, like of a player.
Yeah.
I have to like look at his stats, but when he was with the Sixers, when he was actually playing, I think most of the time he was one of the leading scorers. Hold on, I have to go look at different seasons and stuff. But yeah, hold up.
You know what's? I remember that Sixers team from a few years ago, the one that had Jimmy Butler and Ben Simmons, and
Mhm.
like it was Simmons, Butler,
Yeah.
Harris, Thibault. Was
Redick.
Thibault there?
No, it
No.
was JJ Redick and Joel Embiid.
How did that
Yeah.
team not win a championship, bro?
I
That
mean,
is crazy.
yeah,
I mean, they lost on the Kawhi shot, which is
That's
very
true.
unfortunate. But yeah, I know. They definitely should have at least made the finals that year.
I guess that's like as literally as close as it can possibly get.
but yeah, I found Ben's stats, and most games he was scoring at least like 10 to 20 points, and he would have an occasional like crazy like 30 or 40 point game. So
So why he seems like
Crazy
he
stuff.
was good. So why was it just the playoffs?
basically he like, okay, my take on Ben Simmons is that he has serious mental health problems that like need to be fixed before he can come back to the league. He has a serious confidence issue. Basically what happened is he did like the wrong thing during game 7 versus the Hawks. He passed it to Tobias Harris instead of going for like an open layup. And then I think that was just kind of it for him. Like he screwed up so bad on like a national scale. Like he just could not continue being in the public eye. And literally he just went the wrong way about all of the communication surrounding that situation. So he could have easily fixed it and come back. But I think he has some serious like confidence and mental health issues. And kind of just chose to be pretty immature about the whole situation and like duck all conversation or like any kind of communication from the Sixers all summer and then all season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's a good player. He really is. I think it's just an internal thing with him.
Yeah, it's really sad to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting to just this whole defensive player of the year like conversation, because I mean, I don't really think Jazz fans really believe their Rudy Gobert arguments half the time. They'll throw some of the weirdest stats at you, and it's like, do you even really believe this, bro? Like, but I see his case. But in terms of like an award for being the best defensive player, I feel like you have to award someone's overall effectiveness
Yeah.
more than
Actually,
being
interesting-
elite at one skill.
Something interesting is that the Suns had the number 1 defense in the NBA right now, or like this year overall. And the Bucks are 6th. So the argument for Giannis is still pretty strong. I guess they're 6th, but the Suns are 1st.
But Mikal's argument is
yeah.
better.
Yeah. And some other buzz I'm seeing recently is Robert Williams or Marcus Smart, because the Boston's been very good
They're like
recently.
22-4 in their last
Yeah.
26 or
They have
something
the
like that.
best. I think the past like 20, 30 games, they're the best defensive team. But yeah, I think Mikal
So
Bridges deserves
I was
it.
just going through looking at some defensive stats. Out of every player in the league, it's someone on the Suns. Who do you think has the best defensive rating right now?
In
They're
the
on the
league,
Suns. Out of the whole league, yeah. Best defensive rating.
well, Mikal.
No,
It's
you're
not,
not gonna guess. I guarantee it.
we're not gonna guess. It's a Suns player. Is
It's
it
a
a
Sun.
starter?
Yeah, kind of.
Cam Johnson.
Campaign.
It's Cameron Payne. He has the highest defensive rating in the league right now.
Okay. See, that to me is just a reason we can't take defensive rating seriously.
Do you want to know who's number 2?
Yeah,
He's on the Suns.
Mikal.
No, Landry Shamet.
Okay, yeah, we definitely can't take that shit seriously.
Yeah,
I don't know what goes into defensive rating, but it seems very conditional.
Mikal Bridges has the 3rd highest net rating in the league.
There you go. Another advanced stat for you nerds out there. Are you calculator like sitting watching the games like with your calculator, like punching in numbers all the time, trying to like, bro, just watch. Mikal Bridges to me, and I saw this tweet from you guys know Thomas Hoops, the one that always ratios
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
He had a tweet and it was like, it was after this morning when Stan Van Gundy said that Monty Williams has a case for Coach of the Year.
Mhm.
You guys saw that?
Yeah.
He was like, the Suns don't have an MVP. They don't have the Coach of the Year. They don't have a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. They don't have a candidate for any awards, and yet they're still like really good, like the best team by far. So to me, it just seems like, based on that fact, the Suns should have like at least one player who's like, and I guess Monty, I mean, should win Coach of the Year. It shouldn't even be close.
No,
but
I
if
don't.
Stan Van Gundy over here, if the other voters are starting to think like Stan Van Gundy, then
I'm 1,000% okay with Monty not winning it though, because
yeah, we know
Monty
you told us.
doesn't care, but the players are going to care so much that I think their games are just going to get taken to a whole nother level, which is already scary.
No, yeah, I definitely would love to see like an angry, like a pissed off Suns team take on the playoffs.
Because
That'd
they
be-
care a lot about Monty, and I know they want him to win Coach of the Year so bad. So
yeah. Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, Mikal Bridges, man, he's on a steal of a contract. We all know it. He's just really good. The Suns
see him
have a
being
lot
Suns
of
for
really
life?
good players. What's up?
could you see him being a Suns for life? Or do you think he would go to Philly eventually in his career because he's from there?
I raise you the Mikal Bridges tweet, and I think it's his pinned tweet. Let me find out. But oh, I can't type. Mikal Bridges once tweeted. This was years ago, by the way, like before we even made the playoffs, or maybe we made the playoffs once. It was right before the draft. It was August 20th, 2020. So this is right. This was like during the bubble, right?
Yeah.
Or right after.
Right after the bubble.
Or no, because the bubble playoffs ended in October 2020.
Yeah, it was,
So I think it was
I think.
before the bubble then, before the bubble season started. It was shut down, but the bubble season probably didn't like start yet.
Anyway, August 20th, 2020, Mikal Bridges, I don't ever want to leave at Suns with a heart emoji.
Aw, that's so sweet.
So as of right now, I don't see Mikal Bridges ever leaving the Suns, especially if they stay this good. Because, I mean, he's locked up for 4 more years after this year. And by that time, he's 29. So that's like pretty much a majority of his career. That's 8 years of his career already. So even if he's not a for lifer, he's still most of his career. So
yeah.
And
Unless
the most effective years of his career.
Unless we trade him or something.
Yeah, don't even put that energy out there. No, but let's talk a little bit about Ayton. because we always have to. Where are we at with him today and just in general, like overall right now?
He's had a slow past 2 games.
But to be expected, nothing.
Yeah, where he's going against Jokic and Embiid. But I said this last pod, it's like I want to see him have those big games that he usually does against great centers. Because like for some reason, every time he goes up against a great center, he always just has a monster game.
Can I stop you right there?
Again,
I do think that a big part of it about his like scoring the last couple games is one, because Chris Paul just came back and is taking those shots again, and two, Devin Booker
I was gonna say
has
Devin
been
Booker
going
dropped.
insane, and he just scores. He's scoring more now than he ever has this season.
Yeah.
I feel like he's actually stat padding.
But winning.
Like, no joke. I feel like he's actually going out there and just scoring as much, because we've locked up the 1 seed. I feel like he's actually going out there and just like putting more of an emphasis on scoring.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I kind of forgot what
About
my
DeAndre
point
Ayton.
was.
Lily, what
yeah,
do you
Ayton.
think about DeAndre Ayton in general?
What do I think?
No, I said Lily.
Oh, Lily.
Get her
Sorry.
point of view. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. I think he's really good. I genuinely think that he's going to be one of the, I mean, he kind of is already one of the best centers in the league, but he's going to be like up there in a couple of years, especially as a lot of like the dominant centers right now get kind of older and out of their prime. I really have loved watching him over the past few years. Yeah, I don't know. I
What do you
think he's
think
great.
about extending him? Do you want to see him get extended?
Yeah, positively.
Well, okay. Well, every Suns fan wants to see him get extended. What?
Do you think he
Yeah,
deserves
is he worth
max?
a max?
I believe so.
Because I just say extended because like you kind of assume if he's getting extended, it will be a max from whether he gets signed
Right.
to a different team or
Someone will give him a max.
yeah, someone. And
I
if
mean,
he goes
like,
to like a
if-
Pistons, he's
Right.
gonna average like 20.
All I'm saying is like if the Suns aren't careful with this contract, they could be facing another like Jimmy Butler situation, or like the Sixers Jimmy Butler situation, where they didn't give him the max and he left, and things kind of fell apart. And I could see something like that happening if Ayton doesn't get paid. So I
Yeah,
definitely think the Suns should give him the max. I think this is a situation where they should absolutely do it.
The Suns' plans definitely fall apart without DeAndre Ayton. I think we don't
Yeah.
realize
They have
how
so many centers, and he's the only like really good non-injured one. So
Yeah. I
ugh.
don't think, especially his like haters, I just don't think they really understand how vital he is to this team.
Right.
Granted, it's like he was out and we're like still winning. We win all the time, guys.
Without
We
Chris
can't.
Paul.
I hate it when Suns fans pull up like our record without certain players, because I'm like, we just do that. We just win always. So
The thing we said in the other podcast was like, see, the fans that want to replace DeAndre Ayton, who can you possibly replace him with? Because if we if we would put him as like a top 4 center, right?
we
not gonna
agree
be-
he's like a top
Yeah,
5
yeah.
to 7 center.
You're not gonna get Jokic, Embiid, and I wouldn't.
You're not getting anyone better
So like, whoever you get is gonna be a downgrade anyways.
unless
So
they
you guys
want
like that-
Sabonis.
Yeah, the same people. Yeah.
Isaac, you were just so disrespectful to DeAndre Ayton there. There's no way he drops anywhere near 7. 5 is like
What?
okay. There's no way he's a top, like you said, 5 to 7. There's
Yeah.
that's way too out of it. He would not drop to 7. I could not name. I would put him top 3 or 4. That's where my range is.
Heyo.
You don't agree?
Hot take, no.
No, that's not a hot
Cat,
take. What are you talking about?
Jokic, Embiid are off the top of my head all better.
Okay, and let me just say this. You can have a debate between Cat and Ayton.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. You can.
Cat just dropped 60. You can't.
We don't use we can't use that statistic. What has Cat?
Yeah, we can.
Has Cat played in the playoffs?
Yeah.
No, he hasn't. Timberwolves haven't
Yeah,
made
he
the
has.
playoffs. Timberwolves haven't made-
2018.
Yeah, they made the playoffs once.
I
He
thought-
didn't- he
that's
That's
didn't-
he,
he
that
didn't
was
do
the
well.
Jimmy Butler year.
He didn't do well.
Oh, he did go with Jimmy Butler. Okay, but he didn't.
But
bring
I'm
his
not giving. I
finals
don't.
to Jimmy
That
Butler.
that was like his 3rd season, I think.
either way, there is a debate between Cat and Aiden. There is 100%.
I think that's an extremely hot take, and I think you'd catch a lot of flack for that on Twitter. If you
I'll
tweeted
post it
that.
on Twitter. I don't care.
Go for it. I
And-
really want to see,
So
because
okay.
I think that's kind of a terrible take.
Okay,
I'm not gonna
so-
lie to you, Brandon.
So you say 3 or I said 3 or 4. Okay, we'll say 4.
Um,
Gobert is not better than him.
no,
okay.
I guess
Bam
I
is not
did
better
just
than him.
say who?
Bam.
Oh, Bam. Heat fans will say he is.
Okay, but
Bam's
like, every fan
better.
is gonna say
I think Bam's a better defender probably,
it's close.
but Aiton's better on offense. So
It is close. And let's see. Let's just look at like top centers in the league and compare them. So I think there's an argument for Cat. If that's out of pocket, it's out of pocket. Okay, we'll put him 4. He's better than Bam. He's better than Gobert. He is better than Capella if you put Capella up there. Miles Turner, Nurkic. Like there's no way he drops to 5.
oh no.
Did it happen again?
Yeah, you're kind of glitching out on us now,
Oh my god.
at least for me. But it's okay. Let's before things get too bad, I guess let's just try to wrap it up. We'll make this one a little bit shorter so that we don't have too many technical difficulties here.
I think we've been over an hour.
It was a great game today. Suns won. Suns keep winning. 61 wins now. I think we're like 2 wins away from the franchise record. Follow the podcast on all social media at WKB Podcast. Twitter, there's an underscore. The rest of them, there's not. You can find me on Twitter at Mikal Bridge. Brandon, what's your at?
Brandon ADIERR.
Arian. There he goes.
Okay.
Arian.
Arian S19.
And Lily, is there anything you want to plug?
I mean, yeah, I guess my Twitter is Lisco_2000. So is my Instagram. My TikTok is just Lisco2000, no underscore. And my podcast is Section 202. You can listen to it on Spotify. We post every week. This was super fun. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for
Yeah,
joining
thanks
us.
for coming
And
on.
thank you to our listeners. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the We Know Ball podcast. Mikal Bridges for Defensive Player of the Year, Devin Booker for MVP, Monty Williams for Coach of the Year. We'll catch you next time. Peace.